Welcome to AER Int channel and welcome back to comprehensive course. So in this lecture we are going to discuss about the relations. Since in the previous lecture we have discussed about how to make a fully defined sketch using the dimensions only, now we are going to see the introduction to the relations. Basically, in concise, we can say that relations can be the geometrical relations. So what the geometrical relations are? Basically, geometrical relations are the relations between the two geometry. So it's a very easy thing. We can say that, let's say that there is one circle and there is one line. And if this line is tangent to the circle, then these two geometries, which is geometry number 1 and number 2, they are related to each other with the help of this tangent. And this tangent can be said to be as relations or geometric relations. Similarly, if there are two circles, then what happens that the center of the circle, which is this one, it can be said to be the center of the circles. So now these two circles are related with each other with this common center, and this can be said to be as co-incentric. And similarly, if the one line is meeting with another line end to end, then this part is touching with each other, and this is known as coincident. Similarly, if another line is created from the midpoint of another line, then this is also known as a relations, or we can say the geometrical relations. So with these figures, we can just understand what is the meaning of geometrical relations. And similar geometrical relations we can create in SolidWorks too. And with the help of this, we can just make our sketch fully defined with a very easy way. And with the help of the dimensions, as well as the geometrical constraints, we can just make our design very complicated designs as well, with the proper geometric or the proper definition. So let's just start a solid first, and let's just find out some of the constraints or geometrical relations in SolidWorks. So basically what happens that there are a very lot of types of geometrical relations, and we can't able to cover a whole geometrical relations in one lecture in this time. Then we are going to cover some of the important tools. We are going to see the geometrical constraints there as well. So let's say that this is one of the circle, and let's say that we want to build a tangent constraint between the circle and a line. Then how we can just do that? So let's just see how to make the geometrical relations between them. So this is one of the geometry and this is another geometry. Now we can just press and hold Ctrl button in our keyboard, and then we have to select the two geometry. And once we have selected these two geometry, we can see that whatever the relations that is possible in between these two geometry is going to be provided over here. We can see that there are basically three types of relations that can be provided, which is the tangent, that is the thing that we have seen, equal curve length, and fixed. Fixed means they will going to be fixed together and they are not going to move their positions. So as I've told you that there are a lot of such kinds of relations, and we are going to see these relations throughout this whole course series. So let's just make them tangent first. So if I'm going to click on this tangent, we can see that now these two things are tangent together. This line was not so much of the length, so it is now representing with this dotted line. It means that if I'm going to extend this line, this will definitely going to make them tangent. So this is what the relations is. Now we have seen about the dimensions relations. The dimensions are seen or visible with the help of arrows and dimensions, whereas the geometrical relations are simply relations are visible with this point, which is known as the symbols. So we can see that this green symbol over here is representing the tangent. Now what happens that there are some of the symbols that is not visible. Like we can see that if I'm going to make this one tangent together, we can see that these two are not visible. Similarly, let's just make two line points tangent. So if I'm going to click on this one, and if I'm going to click on this endpoint by holding the Ctrl button, we can see that there is a merge relation that is happening, which can be merged together, and it will not going to show up over here. So many of the relations are those that cannot be shown up over here. If we are going to see this option, which is the display toolbar, there is an eye over here. Just click on this one, and there is a relation on. So make sure that this option should always be on. If this will going to be off, then nothing will going to be shown up over here. So whatever the relation that is provided, we can just visualize it if this tool is on. So view sketch relations, click on that, and this is visible. Similarly, if we want to make that line horizontal as well as vertical, let's say that this is the line, that is having some angle. Let's say we want to make this line as vertical. So if I'm going to click on this line only, we can see that the horizontal and vertical relations are there. We can just make it vertical, and this is the vertical symbol over here. If we want to make the line horizontal, then there is the horizontal symbol as well. So if I'm going to click on this one, we can see that the horizontal. Now there's one more option that is a very common thing, which is known as fix. So if I'm going to click on the circle, we can see that this is a fixed correlation that is going to be provided. Fixed means if I'm going to click on this one, it will going to be fixed. So we can see that this will going to be completely fixed and become black. It means that it's just become fully defined and it has become fixed. It means that it is acting as an origin. We can say that this is completely fixed. So this is all about the relations over here. Now some of the relations can be automatically built. So there are auto relations options as well. Like if I'm going to click on this line, and if I'm going to hover around the endpoint of this line, the SolidWorks will automatically grab this endpoint, and we can just create a line at the endpoint from this line. Similarly, if we are going to create a straight line, we can see that it will automatically going to create a straight line, creating the auto constraint or auto relations that is known as the horizontal over here. If we want to make the line tangent to the circle, hover around the circle, and we can see that a tangent will going to be available. It will going to show up with a pink color. And now if I'm going to click on this one, this line, okay, so this is coincident, this is not tangent. If I'm going to make this one hover around like this, we can see that it will going to make the line as a tangent. Again, it has taken that. So these are some of the auto constraint that is created automatically. So auto constraints are very important and very disturbing as well. It will go into automatically constraint. We can see that I'm taking the line, and if I'm going to hover around, it will going to just create the constraints, and it will automatically going to start creating the constraints. Like this. So now this line is created from the intersection of this center point and this line. So this is what auto constraint is. Now if we want to delete a constraint, then what we have to do, if we want to delete this coincident, if we want to delete these dimensions, and just click on the dimensions, and the dimensions will going to be selected, just press the delete button of our keyboard and that will going to be deleted. Similarly, if we want to delete the relations over here, then we just have to click on the certain relation. We can see that I have clicked on this one, which is this tangent, and then I am going to press the delete button, then this relation will going to be deleted. Similarly, if I'm going to delete this fixed one, I'm going to click on this fix, and if I'm going to press the delete button, this fixed relation is also going to be deleted. So this is a method of deleting the relations. Now this relation is very much, and I hope that many of us have understand a lot of points, but still some confusion will always be there. We are going to cover one exercise related to these relations, and we are going to create one fully defined sketch with the help of these relations as well as dimensions. So at that time, it will going to be clear for us. Keep this thing in mind, that this is a very important concept, and this will going to be follow us whatever the software that we are going to study. Yes, there are different terms that can be used for this concept. So that's all for this lecture. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you like. I hope it can be a little helpful and useful.